Your mind is a battlefield, but most people never realize it. They wake up already defeated, already overwhelmed, already drowning in thoughts that don't belong to them, thoughts planted by fear, thoughts shaped by the past, thoughts injected by the world. And every day, before they even take their first step, they've already surrendered their peace. The Stoics believed the mind is the only true kingdom a person can rule, and the moment you lose control of it, you lose everything else. So, if you want to clear your mind from toxic thoughts and stay focused, you must begin with this truth. The problem is not the world around you. The problem is the noise inside you.
Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts," meaning, the thoughts you allow today become the person you are tomorrow. If your mind is filled with fear, you live cautiously. If your mind is filled with anger, you see enemies everywhere. If your mind is filled with doubt, you live small. And if your mind is filled with noise, you never hear your own life speaking to you. Toxic thoughts don't always scream. Sometimes they whisper. They whisper, "You're not good enough." They whisper, "You will fail." They whisper that others are better than you, smarter than you, more capable than you. The Stoics teach that these whispers only become powerful when you give them your attention. A clear mind begins with awareness. Most people never question their thoughts. They simply react to them. A single negative thought appears, and they start spiraling. A memory resurfaces, and suddenly the whole day collapses. Someone says something small, and the mind turns it into a personal attack. The Stoics tell you this: your thoughts are not commands. They are not orders. They are not facts. They are suggestions, and you have the power to accept or reject them. Epictetus said, "When something happens, you cannot control it, but you can control your opinion about it." This is the key to clearing the mind. It is not silence you seek. It is mastery. To clear your mind, you must first distance yourself from your thoughts. Imagine your mind as a river. Thoughts flow through it all day. Some thoughts are clear like fresh water. Some are muddy and dark. Most people try to stop the river. They fight every negative thought. They panic. They resist. They replay it. But resistance makes the river wilder. The Stoic way is different. You don't stop the water. You step out of it. You observe it from the shore. You see thoughts come and go without grabbing onto them. This distance is where clarity is born. Toxic thoughts come from attachment. Attachment to past pain. Attachment to imagined futures. Attachment to the opinions of others. Almost all inner suffering begins with one of these three. The Stoics advise you to practice present-mindedness, not as a spiritual exercise, but as a survival skill. When your mind is in the past, it's in a cemetery. Nothing grows there. When your mind is in the future, it lives in a fog. Nothing is clear there. But when your mind is in the present moment, you take back control. A calm mind is not one that thinks less, but one that thinks deliberately. Another source of toxic thoughts is comparison. In the modern world, everyone is watching everyone, and everyone is judging their own life through someone else's highlight reel. But the Stoics believed that comparison is the thief of internal peace. Seneca wrote, "We are always complaining that our days are few and acting as though they will never end." Meaning, we waste our precious time focusing on other people's lives instead of mastering our own. When you compare, you weaken. When you focus, you grow. Focus is not something you find. It is something you create through discipline. The Stoics practiced discipline like a muscle. They removed distractions. They embraced silence. They limited their desires. They trained their minds the way a warrior trains the body. To stay focused, you must simplify. Simplify your environment, simplify your goals, simplify your thoughts. A distracted mind cannot be a powerful mind. Toxic thoughts often come from fear, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being enough. The Stoics confronted fear directly by asking a simple question: is this within my control? If the answer was no, they let it go. If the answer was yes, they took action. Fear loses its power when exposed to clarity. Most of the things you fear will never happen. Most of the things you regret live only in memory. Most of the things you think people think about you are illusions created by insecurity. The Stoics remind you that your peace is more valuable than anyone's opinion. To clear your mind, you must practice the art of letting go. Let go of the past. It cannot be changed. Let go of imagined futures. They do not exist yet. Let go of people's judgments. They are not your responsibility. Let go of mistakes. They are not chains. They are classrooms. Every time you release something unnecessary, you make space for clarity. Every time you detach from something toxic, you become lighter. The mind becomes toxic when it becomes crowded. Crowded with noise, crowded with obligations, crowded with negative beliefs. The Stoics used journaling as a tool to empty the mind. They wrote down their fears, their frustrations, their mistakes, not to dwell on them, but to release them. Writing is a form of mental decluttering. Once something is on paper, it loses its power over you. It becomes an external object, not an internal storm. Another powerful Stoic technique is premeditatio malorum, imagining challenges before they happen, not to scare yourself, but to prepare your mind. When you expect that life will challenge you, you stop being surprised by difficulty. And when difficulty no longer surprises you, it no longer overwhelms you. A focused mind expects obstacles. A weak mind is destroyed by them. Inner strength is built not in comfort, but in preparation. To clear your mind, you must also guard it. You cannot consume negativity all day and expect your thoughts to be positive. You cannot drown in endless entertainment and expect your mind to be sharp. You cannot surround yourself with chaotic people and expect inner peace. The Stoics were selective about what they allowed into their minds. They limited gossip. They avoided drama. They sought wisdom, not noise. Your mind becomes what you feed it. And today most people are mentally obese, stuffed with useless information, starving for clarity. Toxic thoughts will always appear. The goal is not to eliminate them, but to weaken them. When they appear, do not fight them. Do not fear them. Simply acknowledge them. Let them pass like clouds across the sky. Every thought is temporary. Every emotion is temporary. Everything is temporary. The Stoics remind you that suffering comes not from the thought itself, but from the story you attach to it. Remove the story, and the thought becomes powerless. Focus is strengthened through action. When the mind becomes stagnant, it decays. When it moves with purpose, it sharpens. The Stoics believed that action is the cure to anxiety. When you sit still with your fears, they grow. When you move toward your goals, fear shrinks. Clarity comes from motion. Peace comes from progress. A focused life is built brick by brick, choice by choice, discipline by discipline. And finally, the Stoics teach that the most powerful tool for clearing the mind is acceptance. Acceptance of life as it is, not as you wish it were. Acceptance of uncertainty. Acceptance of imperfection. Acceptance of the truth that you cannot control everything, but you can control yourself. When you accept reality, you stop fighting the world. and start mastering your response to it. That is where true focus lives. That is where true power begins. Your mind is your home. Cleanse it, protect it, strengthen it. The world will try to distract you, discourage you, and demand your attention. But the Stoic refuses to be owned by anything external. You can clear your mind. You can stay focused. You can transform your inner world. And when you do, nothing outside you will ever control you again. And finally, you clear your mind by remembering that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer behind them. You are the thinker, not the thought. When you identify with every emotion, you become unstable. When you observe emotions without attachment, you become unshakable. A toxic thought appears. Watch it. Do not resist it. Do not believe it. Let it pass. The Stoics knew that peace is not the absence of negative thoughts, but the wisdom to rise above them. Your mind is powerful. Your thoughts shape your reality. When you master your thoughts, you master your life. The world will always contain chaos, but you do not have to let it enter your mind. You can protect your focus. You can strengthen your mental fortress. You can build a mind that is calm, clear, disciplined, and unbreakable. And once you do, you will live differently. You will think differently. You will walk through life with a quiet confidence that cannot be taken away from you.